I need to have a meeting on April the 8th. And can you attend? What time can you attend? And you send that out to 20 people. And of course, they reply back, oh, April 8th doesn't work very well. Um, can we do April 9th? And then 2 o'clock works for me, but 3 o'clock won't. And you get this, 25 emails trying to schedule a meeting. If everybody will use the calendar and block out their classes and block out when they're going to the doctor and leverage it, then we all can benefit from it. Let me just roll over here. You go to your calendar. You can then go to new meeting. And from there, you can do schedule an assistant. And you can start typing names. Daniel, Jared, and Glenn, and Stacy. And it didn't know who Glenn was here, so you can do check names, and then you can pick which Glenn you really meant. You'll notice a couple things. You'll get a kind of a list. 99% of the people, you should get just a blue if they're unavailable. A few people, if you have access to the calendar, they'll tell you what's going on, and you can kind of get a little bit more insight. The greatest part, or the best thing about this is if you're trying to schedule a day, and let's go back here a little bit here, we're a little bit more busy. It kind of lets you know what days are open. You're looking for a day in the future that's all white. Blue means it's got a lot of collisions. There's a lot of conflicts. But once you click on the day, then it will also let you know what times are available. So if you needed a 2-hour meeting on the 23rd, this right here will tell you what times it's available. And then when you click on it, then you can go ahead and schedule an appointment and it will make it for you. And then send it out. And then they can accept it and go from there. So instead of getting 20 emails saying I'm available at 2 o'clock, or I'm not available at 2, or I'm not available on the 8th, you can use the scheduling assistant, put the list of people in that you need, look for a date in the future that's mostly white. Once you click on that, you can then pick an issue. So if you got a group of 25 people and one person can't meet, it will let you know, hey, Jared Moore can't meet at this time, he's a conflict. 2 people can't meet at this time because of conflicts. So that's kind of handy to have, is that scheduling function. Okay, let me close this one, don't save. Let me close this, okay. So questions about scheduling. Okay, something else that's happened. We have moved, one of the pieces of information I get received after Thanksgiving was, where is the status page? How do I get to the blog site? Where is the fishing page that you talk about? So we tried to streamline that a little bit by moving all of those links inside of My Crowder. We've made a new tab, Information Services. So you have the ability to create a sport ticket, a help desk ticket right here from My Crowder. It does have access to the status pages if something's up or down, and the phishing email. So if we get an email that's phishing that's going wide, we can put the notice here. We'll start leveraging this more. It seems like this was the natural place to put it originally, and I just did not do that. So I apologize for not having the links all here. So we moved all the linkage to the My Crowder web portal under Information Services. So that's kind of a one-stop shop for our information as we go forward. Okay, let's see what else. Moving on here. Another change that happened is the website. Working with Cindy and Stephen Brunson, we really made the website now mobile friendly. So you don't have to do that pinch and scroll and zoom and trying to find the stuff. It is now mobile driven. And because it's mobile driven, it's created something a little different. You notice that the COVID button is missing from the header bar here. It's located here under this menu icon here. When you do that, it then pops this up. So the COVID-19 button is right here, but it's here. We did keep the links. I will tell you that these should be all driven by apps instead of links, but they're there for the normal pages. So if you're using your phone, you should use a email app. If you're using Blackboard, there's an app for it. Canvas's app is a lot better. And in the future, we'll have a My Crowder app as well. That's probably 8 to 10 months down the line, but we're working on that. It's on the roadmap to actually have a true app for the My Crowder portal. So that's some changes that happen. Another change that will happen here in the next couple of weeks is screensavers. Due to privacy, due to confidentiality, FERPA, and other things, we really need to set a screensaver up after inactivity. And that activity is going to be about 15 minutes. So 15 minutes of inactivity, we're going to lock your screen to a screensaver. And you can unlock it with the same password that you used to log in. You can lock your own screen if you're going to get up to leave to go down the hall, or you're going to go to a meeting somewhere. It's the Windows key and the L button that locks it. And that will cause the screensaver to come on. And so when you wiggle the mouse, touch the keyboard, it will then prompt you for your username and password. And I'll pause here and catch up on the questions in the chat. I'm really bad about not looking at the chat, so apologize.
Nope, you were doing fine. And then we had
okay.
just a few here.
Okay.
Scheduling assistant, really. For the online meeting option on the scheduling assistant, what virtual meeting program is used? Teams? And yes. We didn't talk about it in the Teams session because we'll probably get to that as a whole separate thing. But Teams utilizes the scheduling assistant also, and that's the virtual meeting program that is used most easily through Outlook there.
So
That scheduling assistant.
What you'll find is Teams, OneDrive, SharePoint, all these are starting to be very interconnected and leveraging that same set of data to be more efficient. So as we get into the corporate versions, and that's the one issue we've got, is the OneDrive we had wasn't the corporate version. I'll use the word corporate loosely, but that's what it really is. By moving to the Crowder College or OneDrive Crowder College, that all starts putting the connectivity together. So these things can flow and use the same set of data and not have to replicate and change and copy and paste. So yeah, it's using the scheduling assistant. Yep, you're correct.
For those that have experimented with Teams a little bit, you'll see a calendar section in there, and we'll talk about it later. So if you don't want to get there right now, don't feel like you need to. But in that calendar section, you will find if you've put stuff into your Outlook calendar, it will show up in Teams, and vice versa.
Will transfer schools visiting campus have access to Wi-Fi? Yes, they will. You'll need to use the Crowder guest. And you can do that, yes. Real quick here, password, just a little quick service announcement, public service announcement for passwords. I know you've heard me say it before, but please don't reuse passwords, and definitely don't use passwords that are used on Facebook or Hulu or Netflix for your work accounts. Keep work accounts totally separate. And if you could, don't use like Netflix being Netflix password and then your Ginsbar password. Things are easily guessable. Once they figure out your system, don't do that. Please don't use names of pets, places, date of birth, things that you can find on Facebook as part of your password. And then once you've used a password, never go back to it. Please always use something new. The bad guys are keeping copies and lists of all the passwords that you've ever used that they've broken into, and they're trading them. It's right now about 430 gigs of passwords. You can go down, if you know where to find it, you can find this list of passwords. And every password that they've cracked, LinkedIn had a breach, Facebook's had a couple breaches, Netflix has had a breach. Hotels have had breaches, and whatever password I use there, they now know it, and they'll try that password for my email here. And I've seen that happen. So if you could help us out by never reusing it, and never use the same password for your work stuff as your personal stuff. Real quick on phishing, we've talked about this before, but just keeping it on everybody's fresh in everybody's mind. It's happening a lot. And we're expecting it to really increase in the coming months. They're really looking at it. So when in doubt, let us know. And there's a couple different ways to let us know. But what you're really looking for in that email that before you send it on, is it something that's, you were expecting from this person? And is it what you thought they would want to ask and when they were asking it? They know how to spell. Unrequested attachments are red flags. Links that don't match company names and sites are, definitely a trouble. When in doubt, when there's a link, please type that link yourself. Don't copy the link. Don't click on the link. Type the link yourself. For PayPal was the biggest one, the worst one for the longest time. And if you're in your email and you click on something and all of a sudden your email is asking you for your password, that's a red flag because you're in it. So it shouldn't have to give your password. You need to probably pause and walk through again and make sure it's working well. So, if you click on that, this Apple Store one, and you've probably seen this a few times, if you clicked on it, you may have gotten a little thing, you've been phished, and we're going to probably do some type of phishing contest. Don't worry. I'm looking at little Go Fish, the little crackers as prizes. I'm already working on that piece. But
or Swedish fish.
Or the Swedish fish, yeah. But yeah, when you click on phishing emails, please don't click on attachments and things that you didn't expect. There's a couple things you can do. The biggest thing is you all should have now the fish alert reporting button. So if you think this email here is a phishing, please do us a favor and help us out by clicking on this. This gives us a lot of data that we normally would not collect normally, that we wouldn't have access to, I should say, on the back end, and then we can build rules and firewalls to help protect the campus. But if you click on this, so this one, say this was, you thought was phishing, you clicked on it, and then you said, well, maybe it's not. Let's let Daniel and myself know, and we'll be glad to work with you to get that email back and talk to you about that email. If you click on one of these items, so this is the one, you click on it, and you get a message saying, congratulations, the job, the email you reported was a simulated phishing attack. We are sending out tests weekly. And you actually caught the phishing, and that's what we want you to do. We want you to be mindful and catch those things. If you get this bottom one here, thank you for reporting this email, then it's not something we sent out. Okay, so we'll need to do some investigation. We'll need to do some checking. Give us a little bit of time. If it's legit, if it's something that we think is okay, we'll let you know. And then the last thing here I want to hit again, I know I've hit it a lot, but portal.office.com, use that to connect to any of the Microsoft items. You got access to Word, Excel, PowerPoints, your email, OneDrive, Teams. We'll talk about forms, SharePoint. So there's a lot of options here, and that's a good landing page to have. So with that, I know I'm running really long, but what questions do we have before I jump to my next session?
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
We can. Hello. Okay, so what questions do we have in chat that I've missed?
Unmute. Okay, are you there?
Yes.
Hello? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with my computer.
What's your question? If you want to type it in the chat, you may.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, oh, here's my question. My question is about the S drive at home on my laptop that I brought home over Christmas break. And I called and the IT desk was very helpful. But now when I try to get on the S drive, it won't let me again. It asks for some codes and various other things. Is this going to happen each time you have inactivity that you're at home? And then when I go back to work to try to get on the S drive, am I going to have issues again? I
You
think is
should
what I'm
not.
asking.
Yeah, you should not. We need to work with it. Something has either a miss or has changed, but no, that's not normal. 100% not normal. So you did turn it into the help desk. We'll be getting back with you. Did you leave a phone number or an email address so we can call you? Or
Well, I haven't turned the second time in. The first time, yes, I turned in. The second time, I have not yet. So I'll turn that in.
thank you. And are we going to keep track of who understands the phishing stuff, like who catches the emails you send? Probably we are keeping track. We might do something in the future, but most likely not. We may minimize the weekly things, but we'll probably keep testing. I check my email using browser, not Outlook. Does clicking on junk phishing work the same as phishing alert button? No, it does not, Matthew. It does not work the same. That sends it to Microsoft, does not send it to us, and we do not have copies of that data that we need. So if you could use the phishing, and there's a browser version, so if you have any issues, let us know, Matthew, and we'll get you help on that one. Okay, anything else? Any other questions? Did I miss anything, Daniel, on the questions?
Nope, just those last two that I'd seen.
Okay, I need to stop and jump to the next session. I'll let you take attendance, and thank you for your patience and your attention.